that's what's happened with us. Where there's long terms, and you get to those games like Man United, and I can't remember him touching the ball. I can't remember one thing he did on the pitch, whether it's not coming back to defend or going forward or in midfield. Don't actually know what he did. Now I'd have to watch the game again. But
one break in the second half.
Not much, Hills.
Where not much, but there was one great chance where he won the ball, done a 1-2, then laid it off for Santos. Acres of space.
Across the bar.
Remember?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So one thing. I would expect more
under
than
any
that.
pressure. You're expecting half decent ball in a box, and Santos sticks it in Rose Head or whatever.
Yeah.
To be honest though, Podolski and Jury were bought to make us actually competitive in that kind of game.
Yeah.
So he played it out to Santos. At the end of the day, Santos is a left back. You're on the wing. You're the forward player.
Well, as we've brought,
there doesn't seem much
relationship
relationship between the two, does there?
As we've brought Santos up, what do we think of the shirt issue at half time?
Disgusting.
I think he should be sold. No, I'm not being funny. I feel that's wrong with that. I'm not being funny. No. Did you hear what the fans were chanting?
Do you mean the colour of the away shirt?
I'm saying you heard what the fans were chanting at Van Persie. You know the history. You know.
Hold on a minute.
If you must take his shirt, at least wait till you're in the dressing room at the full view of the fans and all the cameras.
Well,
you must know what kind of backlash is going to be, surely.
Someone put on Twitter who he had a cynical he had something he thought was cynical about what happened, and he thought Van Persie, because he didn't actually he didn't actually want Santos' shirt, did he?
No.
So,
but don't you think?
So it was actually given outside.
He did it as a
the
wind-up.
tunnel.
Yeah. I think he did it as a wind-up
to spark it.
I think so. I think he did it as a wind-up.
There is that fault.
He took the shirt off, and he literally Santos didn't go up to him. He may have done beforehand, but he didn't say, "Give me the shirt on the pitch." And
Mike, it looked well sorted. That.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying that, Kev. I'm not saying that. But the way that he just, took it off. And just
taken off before he went down the tunnel.
He took it off and then thrust it into his chest. Santos, if you look at the stills from it, he almost looks a bit embarrassed by it, and I think.
But still, go back to the overall point.
Message.
The overall message is that shouldn't happen.
I've got a theory of what he actually
it's not going to go on for ages, is it?
No, it's not.
We know what your theories are like.
I think what he did, he was in the changing room before half time, saw he wanted to have a pony, they run out of toilet roll, so he's like, you know what I mean? Here, Robin, your shirt. Yeah, use something.
Do you think he gave it back to him?
I better think they use, really.
Hold on,
but then you've also got I mean, a lot of people as well. I don't know how people. I don't really get upset with this, but some people have. The manager walking off the pitch, we're losing the game, getting battered, hugging him, laughing and joking with him.
Just as bad. It's got to be. We're in the middle of a game, for Christ's sake. What's going on?
You're in that away end, right? You're getting battered. You're losing 1-0. We haven't exactly played great. You're spending a fortune watching that team, and then you see the manager walking down, cuddling, and thanks for the 24 million. Thanks. It was a good transfer for the Arsenal. Give us some profit this season. Blah blah blah.
They probably said, "Are you a tenner?"
But do you know what I mean? I think, but surely someone at the club should be turning around to these players and saying, "Do it for them. Do it for them in the corner that are shouting your name. Yeah. Do it for them who are sticking up for you. Do it for the people that spend money watching you week in, week out. Putting their lives on hold for days on end, especially to support you, and you do things like that." The manager. For me, what the manager done was worse than Santos.
There's one thing leaving, but what that player whose name I nearly said did with his little website and his little comments on there.
Well, that
was a right royal stitch.
Yeah,
that was really out of order.
Yeah, of course it was.
And he doesn't deserve to be given hugs and kisses.
But I don't agree with the song.
So
that was the first. I don't really agree with the first part of the song that they sing about him. But And I don't actually sing that song at all about him, but he's gone now, so forget him. But I think what the manager done there, that upset me more than what Santos did, if I'm being honest. Because
it sets a tone. It sets a tone, doesn't it, from the top?
And it's a bit like what you said before the game, Mike. In the tunnel, hugging players. I want someone out there. I want them to have the camouflage gear on their face, up for it, like they're on a war zone. I want them, they've got the shirt on. We all know if we've got that shirt on our back, we'll be putting 110% in it, week in, week out. Back to the old days of Steve Williams and that.
When we played Crystal Palace in the Coca-Cola semi, and it was on. It was the away leg was first, weren't it? It was on telly, and the players all lined up, and didn't the commentators say even then it looked like men against boys?
Yeah.
Before they came out, we all had skinheads, and they all had like 4 days
growth beards. Look at Vieira. Do you remember that? Look at Vieira at Highbury when he absolutely antagonised Roy Keane, and he sort of got it right in Gary Neville's face. That's what I want.
Just reminded me about that game as well, where of course Ian Wright had said all before that he weren't going to celebrate, and of course he scored for the Arsenal and he celebrated like mad. Everyone loved it, and this whole thing about not celebrating because I respect the fans. Yeah. Absolute crap.
Because your statement on the website respected us a lot, didn't it? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Absolute pony. Rubbish. And what Rio Ferdinand said as well, I'm sorry, but that is disgusting. Slating the Arsenal fans for having the hump with him. I'm sorry, mate. You got banned for 8 months. Your club stuck by you, and then you wanted a new contract of over $100,000 a week, and you wasn't going to sign it until you got it. You, mate, are even worse.
And he's all right with his fans giving out verbals.
Yeah.
Just to go back to the...
Yeah, exactly. 15 years they've been giving Wenger the old dirty chance, and Alex Ferguson only came out last year and said something about that. He let that go on for 15 years, and then Ferguson coming out saying the Arsenal fans should respect him and all that lot. Rubbish.
I did tweet earlier a quote from Jamie Redknapp on the actual day of the game, and he said he doesn't actually buy into players not celebrating when they score against their former clubs, because if he loved it that much, why didn't he stay at Arsenal?
I thought you were going to say he bought a new tie.
Did you say Jamie Redknapp?
Jamie Redknapp.
I think that deserves a buzz.
Yeah.
Infinity and beyond.
I don't agree very much with that.
That's where you should go.
But when he made that particular comment, I am fine with that. To be honest, does it make you feel better that he didn't celebrate? It just makes me feel that he's trying to take the higher ground.
Just moving on quickly.
I think on some players who actually do leave without wanting to go, then ones you can allow them.
Just a little thing I read on the Arse blog. I think it's Little Dutch who did it, and this has been known of our club for Arsenal for a long while now. We've got more songs about players who don't play for us than the players who do play for us.
Yeah.
Right, I know maybe they don't deserve songs sung at them at the moment. Well, nice ones anyway, but come on, Gooners. When you're at the game, when you're in the pub before a round, just saying, nice and quick, doesn't involve swearing, because that ain't going to kick off at the ground. It's not going to, especially at the Emirates, it's hard enough to get come on you Reds going. So let's think nice, quick little songs for the players that are out there, and that'll give them more of a boost than having to listen to songs about that mug.
Good point, Michael. Well said.
Swap shirts at half time. Swap shirts at half time.
Well, everything about
Santos. Swap shirts at half time.
Or he gets a driving ban. Everything's negative at the moment with Santos.
Even the songs about our players are negative. Come on.
Right, boys. Well, we ain't got
come
much.
On, you guys.
Yeah, come on, you guys.
Come on, you guys.
We ain't got much time left, lads. So I want a one-word answer from you. If you don't mind, then we'll move on briefly to the Schalke game.
What about
bald? Shake? Does it need a shake-up? Yes or no?
Yes.
One word answer you want.
Get on with it.
Well, I've got much more than one word, but I would say
grim.
Ills, yes or no?
Yes, mate. Yeah.
Mike?
Yes.
Yes from me. Right, Mile, get off your chest what you want to say about the board.
I think it's not only the board. No, he's been fantastic. A lot of the greatest football memories I have come from Arsene Wenger. But I have to say, he's got to be held accountable for some of the things that we're seeing at the moment. It's his job. He's paid to motivate the team. I've seen far too many performances when the team have gone out there lacking motivation and desire. I know a lot of people say, how do I know whether they're trying or not? Well, I can see when people are trying to actually win the ball. I can see people actually trying to run into the box and get on the end of things. I can see people, beating a man, having a shot. And these are things that are not happening at the moment. And that comes from Arsene Wenger. If he can't motivate the players, then I never thought I'd ever feel this way. But maybe it is time for him to actually step aside. He's been fantastic. But why are we afraid of change, A new manager only won't work if it's the wrong manager.
To be honest, you're right.
Can you sum that up in a word then?
Yeah. I was going to say
bored. That's the word.
Bored. Yeah, bored.
Well, I mean, bored. Yeah. I mean, we could talk about the board all day, and we ain't got time to. So, I think we've spoken about the board before, and slowly but surely, my views are changing a little bit. But I think we need to probably save our issues with the board for the next podcast.
One more thing.
Oh my
God. A lot of people have talked about Chelsea and Man City destabilising the game with their money, which is true. No one can argue with that. But at the end of the day, we're now competing with Newcastle, Everton, teams who don't have much money, who seem to go out and find players that can actually improve their team and do a good job for their team, and actually run around and do the things that we seem to be lacking when we're not playing well. I don't mind losing a game, but it's how you lose the game. I want to, Wilshere, yeah. I was upset with how Wilshere played. But at the end of the day, at least he had a bit of fight and he was trying to get stuck in. He weren't having a great game, but he actually tried. He got sent off in the end. But that's what we need to see 5, 6, 7 players doing in our team. When we get that back, we might actually win something.
Right, well, we'll leave that there, I think. We ain't got long left, lads, so just really to touch on tomorrow's game, which me and Mike are going to. We will be leaving, we've got to get the coach in 4.5 hours, Mike?
Yippee!
Happy days! It's a nice long coach journey to Germany
We're all very jealous.
Elfin Gherkin, is it?
It's something like that, yeah. So, Schalke, very, very quickly, lads. What do you think about tomorrow's game?
Is it a must-win? Nick a draw, 1-1.
It's not must-win, no. And if we actually get a bit of pace involved, I reckon he might play Arshavin tomorrow, especially with Ramsey injured. And lo and behold, if he does what I want, gets drops. Well, if Ramsey's injured, I don't know. But I reckon he should play Arshavin and Walcott tomorrow.
No chance. Podolski and Walcott wide.
Ills?
No, Carzola. Play Arshavin in the middle. Spice it up a bit.
1-0 to the Arsenal.
I want to be positive, but after the way they just took us apart over the whole game at home and recent performances, it'd be difficult. I think a draw is our best shot at the moment.
A draw will be a good result in my eyes.
Yeah, a draw will be a good result.
A draw's not the end of the world.
I was a bit surprised by Mr. Morgan and over there suggesting a clean sheet.
Yeah. Why not?
You mean Marlon?
Well, we still got
Piers Morgan.
Keep the faith.
Yeah, not that much.
I think you should press the button.
Yeah. Well, we have got the best defence in the English league still.
I think that's illusionary domination. Mate.
That is.
I think that is what the word was made for.
Well, it does do well though from deflecting it with these long words, doesn't he?
I would say that,
Wenger.
The best defence is a good offence, which means we're going to let about 5 in then.
Well, we have been letting a few in recently. Well, we ain't got long left on the clock, lads, so I think it's time to wrap this one up. It's just like to say thank you for listening, if you're listening live or if you've downloaded it at a different time. Obviously, you can follow us at the Gooner Family. We should be on iTunes very shortly, in the next hour or two. And once again, thanks a lot. Much love. Keep the faith.
Keep the faith.
Be lucky.